Welcome back. So happy to see you again. And let's be honest, if you watch these videos, you probably ask, how am I going to put all what you say into practice? So in today's video, I want to share with you how I watch YouTube and how I implement advice I hear from those videos, so you have a good idea on how you can watch my videos effectively. So I only watch YouTube when I'm moving around, when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm eating, and when I'm going to the gym and so forth. And also listen at 2x speed in order to get what I want much faster. So one of the reasons you don't see as much flashy stuff in the videos like camera shots and visual effects is because I'm trying to optimize the viewer experience as I would personally want them. If I was consuming this exact video, I would do something else and not necessarily watch all the time, but I would have my earphones and listen to it all the time. So therefore it's just me talking with some B-roll necessary, like some articles whenever needed. I'm also practicing talking very slowly and naturally, and one of the major benefits of doing so is that when you want to speed me up, it's going to be an easier time going gradually from 1.25, 1.5, 1.75 and so forth. Which is what I encourage you to do, by the way, speed me up. So that was the first part. The other part is how you can implement these suggestions to your life, and it's just suggestions. You can ignore them if you want. When it comes to implementing advice, I'm a big fan of the concept from system theory called Gall's law, which says that a complex system cannot be designed from scratch, but has to be evolved from a simpler system that has proven to be working. Or in plain English, start simple and upgrade as you go. Take for instance Amazon. I know firsthand how huge they are, both outside and inside, with thousands of different departments and millions of employees doing their own specialized thing. But almost 30 years ago, there was only Jeff Bezos and a team somewhere in the US shipping books. So it's grown rapidly since then. If you look at our own lives as well, we have grown so much and learned so many skills that we take for granted, but probably aren't even aware of them. So how does it relate to YouTube watching, you might ask? Well, we can certainly feel bombarded from time to time. I encourage you instead to step back and decide whether all the advice you hear is worth acting on right now. Most often, it's better to do one thing at a time. And that's something I've been experimenting with, some priority list on what to focus on. As you can see right here, it's a lot to do with YouTube, especially in my case, but there are more basic stuff too, like for instance posture, because it's vitally important. And in the same way, you can also write down whenever something happens and you're going to do that. For example, if I feel unmotivated, I'm going to feel the unmotivated emotion and still going forward. If I don't feel focused, I will ask what the biggest problem I can solve at the moment, add these step-by-step implementation intentions, and then adding them over time. As long as you do that, I found that has truly been the best solution, especially in my case. Lastly, I have to admit that I've been bad when it comes to specifically point out when to do this advice and how to execute these step-by-steps. And going forward, I'll be extremely clear, or at least as clear as possible, on how to do it in practice. I believe that this alone can make the difference between, oh, that was a good tip, I felt good in the moment and now I'm going to forget it minutes later. Or think that, okay, this is ultra clear, I know exactly what to do and I feel like I need it, so I'm going to execute it right away and then actually do it. That all comes down to clarity. And as a side note, it's often saying that strategy is easy, but execution is hard. But what I've come to realize is that the more detailed the strategy is and the more adaptable the strategy is, execution isn't really that hard. In the end, strategy should be able to tell, okay, go to that particular room, open that particular box, follow the execute step, like a manual, for instance. That's something I really want to underscore between you and me. Clear to the point, here's how we do in each situation, based on what's worked for me and other research, of course. And I want to transfer everything I know every day to you. That's my main mission, because you're my everything. So short sum up, I encourage you to speed me up. Go to that gear wheel, whatever, and click on 2x speed. And also feel free to do other stuff while you're listening or watching. Like for instance, doing the dishes and going to the gym, eating and stuff like that. If one particular advice resonated with you, because you can always go back to the videos and see whether it's the right season for them, you can write it down in your favorite note-taking app. Whenever this situation happens, I will respond with this mindset or this action. And if you show up to this channel specifically, I'll be very clear on exactly how you can implement these actionable advice, called that. And as always, I'm interested to see what you thought about it. What do you want me to cover? What topics do you find interesting and worth diving deeper to? Also, let me know if you have other feedback or suggestions how we can make it better for you. Until then, thank you so much for sticking around, and always remember that you're the most amazing human being alive.